Your inner ways are arguably one of the most important parts of your build, regardless of if you're a DPS, a healer, or even a tank. The trick is that it's very hard to choose the 4 or 5 you really want to focus on because you have to invest a lot of notes to actually upgrade each of the inner ways to unlock additional passives. All of these passives work together to dish off more damage, boost your survivability, dish off more heals, or realistically whatever you're going for. The tricky part is, though, getting enough notes to actually upgrade this to the highest tier possible to pick up all of these different types of passives to really make your overall build as powerful as possible. Now, when it comes to different types of inner ways, some of them have direct impact on certain weapon types, while other ones just impact your overall gameplay. But again, you're actually going to need to gather a ton of these to actually upgrade them, and it can be very difficult. And that's why I really wanted to spend some time in this video to kind of showcase the overall tips exchange method to really just focus on getting as many specific notes for each of the 4 or 5 inner ways that you really are focusing on to upgrade them to the highest tier possible. I've already gone to this menu and basically bought out all 600 of the bamboo cut ones just because that's what my primary build is, but I'm at the point where I'm starting to kind of dabble into the other options here as well. Just because these are not bamboo cut specific does not mean I can still get some rare notes or epic notes or even the legendary morale chant note to help my bamboo cut build. So again, even though you may completely go through the 600 stock, don't let that stop you from going and starting to kind of explore some of these other tomes to get even more notes. Now, to jump into it though, what I wanted to call out first is the recycling process. The best thing to do is really specifically call out 4 or 5 inner ways that you want to focus on. If you have a note for something that does not fall within that inner way that you're going for, then recycle it. What you're trying to do is recycle anything that you know for a fact you're just not going to use with your current build, just to get more of these consumables down there in that corner you can see, to basically gamba for a chance at more books. So we recycle all of these and we got a handful of this currency. We go into the develop tab, go to tips exchange, and this is basically giving us what we need to exchange it for these caches. And there you go. I just got 3 morale chants. I don't need these, but I got 6 of these legendary notes, which is going to be great. I've got a handful of others. So basically what I do from here is I go back into my inventory and I start recycling the ones I'm not going to use. In some cases, you may end up with more of these resources to actually do the exchange than you started with, depending on your overall luck. Like we said, I got 6 of these, and look what happens when I actually recycle all 6. It jumps to 157. I'm basically getting more of these than I started with. So I've got these vintage bookmarks now, these book plates. Go to my inner way, go to tips exchange, and then I rinse and repeat the process. There we go. I got another morale chant, and I got a handful of other notes that I'm actually going for, like 5-fold bleed. I know I need a ton of those. So again, go back to your inventory, go to tips recycle, and get rid of the ones you know for a fact you're not going to use. I know that this process is not fun. However, it is a bit of a game changer because it will give you what you need to boost up the 4 or 5 inner ways that you primarily use for your build. So there we go. I'm going to recycle these, more book plates, and I go back to the develop tab. And again, I just wanted to show you guys this actual process. I've gotten a lot of questions about how you can actually do this process and what it actually means. There you go, 3 more morale chants. In total, I just got 10 morale chants through this process, and I've only been doing it for a few minutes. So you can really do this for any build that you're going for, and the more specific you get in regards to the 4 specific inner ways, the higher tier you likely will get just because you have more things to actually work with. Of course, there's 100 other ways to actually get some of these notes, but This is kind of like the ongoing way that you can recycle the ones you don't want and cross your fingers and hope for the best in regards to getting the actual pieces that you want to upgrade it and make your build more powerful. I do want to call out too that if down the road you want to change to a different inner way, there is a conversion process here. So for example, let's say I'm not going to use Morel chant ever again. Again, crazy, that's not going to be the case. But let's say I do and I want to use Seasonal Edge. You can see right there that number. It's giving me basically 67 of these as that new inner way that I wanted to focus on. So don't worry if down the road you might want to change your build, because you can repurpose all of that work you did previously to kind of go towards a certain inner way. But again, you can only do that 4 times per season for free. And that really covers it. This will impact your overall mastery and let you pack a harder punch for your build regardless of what it is.